Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Videodrome. Today I want to talk about an underrated comedy starring one of my favorite directors, Zak Penn's clever mockumentary, Incident at Loch Ness. Maverick filmmaker and longtime cinema icon Werner Herzog has recently made an improbable leap into mainstream recognition. More people probably know him today through his appearances on The Simpsons, The Boondocks, Parks and Rec, Rick and Morty, and The Mandalorian than through his actual work as a director. Herzog's stony gaze and morose delivery make him a natural performer, with a particularly strong gift for comedy. One of the first people to catch on to Herzog's potential for self-satire was screenwriter Zak Penn. His sly directorial debut, Incident at Loch Ness, is arguably the film that opened the door to Herzog's late career bloom as a reliable comedic cameo. It showed us how adroitly the legendary filmmaker could spoof his own image. Incident at Loch Ness takes the form of a documentary about the making of a documentary. Herzog stars as himself, preparing to direct a movie about the Loch Ness Monster, an idea that sounds not at all outside the range of factual possibility. This is the brilliant thing about the movie. It's completely fictional, but so much of it appears totally credible. Zak Penn also stars as himself, playing Herzog's producer. As Penn watches the Loch Ness film take shape, he starts to worry about Herzog's esoteric approach. Hoping to give the project more mainstream appeal, he begins to tamper with the production, hiring actors, buying costumes, and organizing fake Nessie sightings behind Herzog's back, quickly sending the whole production into chaos. Penn does a great job of maintaining a tricky tonal balance. The film has to be realistic enough to be believable as a documentary, and heightened enough to work as a parody. He arranges the story to appear unplanned, as if it's all just happening before our eyes. We watch the crew struggling to do their jobs. We see miscommunication lead to disorganization, and disorganization lead to catastrophe. In a way, it's as truthful and compelling as the Terry Gilliam Quixote documentary Lost in La Mancha. Penn, a successful Hollywood screenwriter, obviously has a lot of experience with projects falling apart due to creative interference. That shows in the way he creates a completely convincing portrait of a film production in crisis. The early scenes have an authenticity and an insider's attention to small detail that is not easy to fake. We forget sometimes that we are not watching a real documentary. The jokes start out small and grow sillier as the film progresses. One of the funniest decisions is Penn's casting of himself as the villain. He's not someone you'd expect to be a Herzog fan, and he knows this, so he fictionalizes his own personality into that of a clueless studio hack who seems to regard Herzog only as a way of gaining himself some artistic clout. It's obvious that the real Penn understands a great deal about Herzog and his work. As a writer-director, he keeps Herzog's character very close to the reality, letting him pretty much speak for himself most of the time. As an actor, though, Penn plays it like he has no idea. Some of the best moments come when he reveals, as a character, how hopelessly he has misunderstood Herzog's movies and myth. At about the halfway point, there's a bold tonal shift that is actually very well executed. Penn starts to flip genres and develops the story into a kind of found-footage horror movie, as Herzog and his crew start to realize they may have discovered the real Loch Ness Monster. Themes of Hollywood fantasy invading and distorting reality begin to take on a whole new meaning. Penn is playing a game with the audience. He wants us to be unsure how much of the film is staged and how much of it might be real. By the end, of course, we know the whole thing is fake, but the fun of the movie is in how, for much of the runtime, we find ourselves simply believing much of what we see. The game extends even to the design of the DVD. Most of the features are done in character, as an extension of the film's reality. It's only by messing around on the menus that we discover the hidden features, where cast and crew speak about the production out of character, as themselves. I miss things like this. When a DVD was done well, it contributed something to the experience of the movie. With the decline of home media, we have sadly lost that part of the experience. But sometimes tracking down these old discs can bring back some of that enjoyment. My copy of the film actually still has the original receipt from Hollywood Video inside. Someone originally purchased this disc in Los Angeles, California back in 2005. Somehow or another it wound up in Portland, Oregon, and that's where I bought it a few years ago. Just part of the fun of physical media. At about the halfway... Okay, I'll just wait till you're done. I'm gonna do one more take. Oh my god.
About the halfway point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one more take.